G'day everybody, Duckville here. We're going to have a look at a game, a Zerg versus Zerg, which is going to be a bit of fun here on Korhal Compound. It is featuring one of the very well-rounded Zerg players on the Team Liquid team, I guess, yeah. It is LiquidHaypro. He's going to be starting down at the left-hand side. His opponent is a teammate of mine. It is Dream Team Gaming's dtGNalRa who sent this one through. And we'll see how he battles here. This is a very much a cold cast, so keep in mind that I haven't actually seen this how this game goes. And knowing dtGNalRa, he actually does like to favor some early pool play. Like I don't mean 6 pools, because obviously he would have done that by now, but sort of in the range of that sort of 12, 13 pools, just to throw people off just a tiny bit, just to see if he can capitalize on that. So we'll have to see how this game goes. If it's a long game as well, I have no idea. I totally have not looked at this particular replay before. A couple of shout outs, of course, going to Red Ranger Kai on Twitter, having a bit of a sad moment today. Unfortunately, one of her pictures was actually used on Twitter without any credit or anything like that. Don't worry, things will look up soon, and I'm sure you'll get some more recognition from that particular person who did that. Also to Maynard, who is one of the another great Australian talent here we have, who looks after the much of the live scene here, especially for the Australian Cyber League, with looking after some of the ACL Pro events that have been going on. Of course, you can catch him when those streams are up. Cheers to him. And yeah, so that was pretty much my shout out little section there. I don't know why I did that, but we'll see. If anyone else wants shout outs later, let me know. So just opening up here from both of these guys, we've got a hatch first from dtGNalRa, so he's going to play that little bit more of the early eco style, whereas Haypro has gone a little bit safer here, getting the gas, and he's going to have enough gas to get the Ling speed once the spawning pool completes. As we can see, we'll see whether he takes the Lings out of the gas once the speed starts researching. That can be one of the big things about how you proceed in a ZvZ, whether you continue to get the gas either to get banelings or some very quick roaches, or whether you switch them out. And it looks as if he has switched. As we can see here, just no more drones on that, so it looks as if he'll probably get a couple of Lings out, get the expand going at the same time, and just have a good map presence with those very quick speedlings, and then also get his economy up just behind that. The other benefit of it is that you can head up here, do a little bit of harassment to that very quick hatchery from your opponent if it is the particular play that they went for, and he will be aware of that right now. As we can see, just that Overlord finally getting into position, catching that the hatchery is done. Quick Roach Warren here from dtGNalRa. He's continuing to get gas. As we can see here, he's just continuing to grab as much as he can. We actually have no Ling speed being researched, of course. Actually, I think obviously he got the gas a little bit later, but I think he's just going to perhaps go straight to roaches. We'll see what happens. But of course, this sort of bodes a little bit well for dtGNalRa just at the moment, especially if he gets those roaches out with very little need to try and defend himself. A queen just about to pop out. Here she goes. And she's going to help out with some of those injects, and in fact the second queen as well. So there's going to be quite a lot of larvae available to dtGNalRa. The issue is he going to have enough gas to support the roach production early on? So of course this is a little bit of a learning experience for me. I have been playing random on the C server, so I've had to face quite a lot of Zerg in my time, because the C server is a crazy place. You go on there and, you know, I play random and I get Zerg just about every time. I actually got Zerg 8 times in a row, yet I played about 8 Zerg versus Zerg games in a row, so it's quite annoying sometimes, but a learning experience for me. As we can see, dtGNalRa picking up those 3 roaches pretty quickly. A couple more will be on the way, and here they come. And more drones will be behind that. It looks as if some speedlings are going to get inside. Of course, the speedlings in a large amount can do a great amount of damage to these roaches, picking off 1, nearly 2, and then the 3rd and the 4th as well. Drones coming down to help out as well for dtGNalRa. He's got 2 roaches here. They are just barely going to defend the Lings, having to retreat from Haypro because he has just got a little bit too few there. And it looks as if he's going to be really cranking it up a notch. He's now got 14 more Lings on the way. Going to be continuing quite a lot of pressure here. dtGNalRa has to be very careful with how he proceeds. He may need to get a spine crawler down just up at the top of the ramp here. The 3 queens and the roaches here have to be very, very careful with how they engage. You don't want to let that ramp go, because if the Lings get up, then you could be in a lot of trouble. I think dtGNalRa has just kept that open just on this southern side, but on the top side it is still closed up, and now he is actually defended against all those lings. There are still more and more coming up as well, but the drone count between these two players is still way above for NalRa. He's got a count of 29 to the 15 of HayPro, so HayPro really needs to kick it into gear here and grab some more drones if he wants to stay in this game, because now that that sort of sweet spot is being reached here for NalRa, where he has quite a lot of roaches, and of course we've still got queens in the mix, you sort of can defend against this sort of pressure from a lot of speedlings. And as we can see, he will get a couple of kills there, which is very nice, but a couple of lings almost bust in. They thought they had their number to get inside, but unfortunately they were actually underage, and they're busted down by the queen and the roaches. So as we can see, looks as if HayPro is really droning up himself now. He's just picked up another bunch of drones, and a whole heap more have just hatched out. There was another 8 that just popped out of those eggs, so he's going to be really mining away quite hard here. I'll be interested to see how he tries to respond to this early roach play by NalRa. And as we can see, NalRa's roach count is really starting to get quite high. He's still getting a few drones out every now and then, as we can see, just squeezing them in from time to time. It's a big part of Zerg versus Zerg, is when you grab those drones. Of course, it's effectively how you can win and lose the game, because it is, wait for it, epic pun, a game of drones. As we can see, a couple of lings still surviving here for HayPro, just trying to get some vision to see what he can find inside the main base. If he can get in, that would be quite nice, but unfortunately he is not able to, and the Evo Chamber is going to help out with the block. We've got some more lings being produced along with spine crawlers as well. HayPro knows that he is in a little bit of trouble if these roaches start to push down, because he could face quite a lot of firepower with the roaches that NalRa could bring to bear. So we've got the lair coming up now. We've got no banking of gas at all for NalRa, so I think he is going to stick with the roaches for the time being. We'll probably see roach speed come out very shortly here. However, he has started to bank up just a little bit, so we'll have to see if he actually does try and tech up to mutas at all. I would be very interested to see if he does go ahead with that, but he is just making sure he's got some good defenses, and he does. Okay, fair enough. He does put the spire down just at the back of the natural here. Meanwhile, for HayPro, we've got a nice little arc of spine crawlers here. Actually, losing one of his overlords, unfortunately, puts him just in the red for a moment, but he will have a bit more production capability very soon with the +1 to Carapace on the way. We're going to have, looks as if we've got a second Evo Chamber, so I'm thinking that HayPro is going to go for a roach style play here, and we'll have to see if that counter works well against the mutas that are going to come out from NalRa or not. NalRa starting to bank up that gas, as we mentioned before, putting down those spine crawlers for the defense, and now saving that gas up. We've currently got a total of 700 gas available for NalRa, so we can crank out around about 7 roaches, providing that he has a supply and the extra minerals that is needed for it. And yeah, he's just, I think HayPro should have realized by now that it is going to be a muta play. I mean, just sort of busted in and saw just only still that sort of small roach count, a lot of spine crawlers as well. I'm pretty sure that would be a pretty good sign that you're going to be up against some mutas very soon, but we'll have to see how he reacts to that. As we can see, we've got the infestation pit. Yep, it is going to be a ground-based force here for HayPro, so he's going to pick up some infestors as soon as he can. We're going to get, there is actually, interestingly, some creep spread from NalRa. I'm a little bit surprised to see that, given that he's going for the mutas initially, but we'll have to find out how that works for him. Once again, HayPro just really keeping these spine crawlers in good position here. He wants to make sure that none of those roaches are able to just do any sorts of run-bys, and now that the mutas have popped, we're going to have a lot of harassment here from NalRa. He's going to be just heading across the map. He's also started roach speed, and he is still has no ling speed, so he's definitely going to be keeping away from the lings just for the moment. Now, as we've mentioned in previous casts, the bonus of having those mutas out in Zerg versus Zerg is that once you get into position to take down some of these drones, if you can, after you try and deal with these queens, is that you can actually just fly around the map and try and deny your opponent's overlords. And it looks as if for the moment NalRa actually has enough to try and take down the queens. It gets one of them and is now in that spot where it's like, hey, there's actually a couple of these spore crawlers here. I'm not actually going to be able to get too much done, and so I'm going to have to retreat for the time being. So he's now able to retreat. The question is, will he be able to find these overlords that are positioned around the map from HayPro? Will be Interested to see how that goes. He's actually busting in here to try and take down that infestation pit, but does not get it before fungal growth, pathogen glands finishes, I should say. And he does get rid of it eventually, but a couple of infestors are on the way already. We've got 4 out on the field just at the moment, and another 3 on the way. So they are going to have some good energy available to them to take down firstly the mutas, of course. If they get clumped up, you can chuck down a fungal and then put some infested terrans underneath and go for a nice counter to those mutas. Or you can put the fungal also down on these roaches as well. So we'll have to see how HayPro deals with this. The attack is imminent. It looks as if he's well aware of that, and coming up to the front against all of these spine crawlers is NalRa. He's actually losing some of these mutas. It looks as if the spore crawlers burrowed just in time, and along with fungal growth, HayPro is absolutely demolishing everything here from NalRa. He's gonna have to retreat. There is just not enough backup here to bust through this wall of 6 spine crawlers along with the 4 spore crawlers at the front there. The mutas just not able to help enough despite having a good presence of them at the start of the game. So NalRa is going to have to try and get something different going here now. He's actually just upgrading that the roach upgrades there. +1 for missile weapons just finished. He's also got +1 to Carapace on the way. The 3rd base is up for NalRa as well, which gives him the ability to really boost up his economy very soon. So we'll have to see what HayPro is going to do as well. Looks as if he's going to go out for his 3rd base as well. He's got some upgrades coming through as well. +1 to +2 to melee attacks, along with +2 to Carapace as well. The infestation pit was recreated, so he is going to be able to get up some more of those infestors as the need arises. We've got 2 more just about to pop out, and we may see an infestor hit squad heading around the map. A couple of Lings are doing that job just for the moment, but HayPro is currently down 85 supply to 144. NalRa in a very good position just at the moment, trying to snipe down some of those drones. Does pick off one of them, but is not going to get too much more than that done. And now it looks as if he's going to get all sneaky, and he's going to head up through. Where is he going? Alright, he is going to go up towards the top base and probably going to drop down. Well, I believe those Lings would have just been to try and see if there was a spore crawler around, because of course if there is a spore crawler here, those infestors aren't really going to get too much done just as a sort of initial attack. But now it looks as if NalRa is aware of the 3rd base attempt here from HayPro, and he's going to just come in here with all these roaches with their +1 to weapons. He's going to take this base down. That is not happening at all. Lings meanwhile trying to bust inside the main base of NalRa. That's not going to happen. But 6,000 beach balls get thrown over the net, and infested terrans are now popping out. This 3rd base is not long for this world at all. Taking down the spine crawlers first, the queen next, and then that hatch is definitely gone if he target fires. Is he going to? No, there's still heaps of those available, so they are going to do a bajillion damage there. And it looks as if a counter attack from NalRa is just pushing through the map. Hydra's in the mix now as well. They're going to be helpful to deal some really good damage against these the spine crawlers here, and they do get some of the spine crawlers down, but unfortunately with a Ling and infestor counter attack, they are not going to get too far, and the Hydra Roach does get stopped by HayPro. But there is more and more on the way, as we can see. More Hydra Roach. There's even a drone on the way. This is going to get crazy here from NalRa. That's just how he plays. And now we've got a secondary force attacking in from the side as well. I think NalRa has just sensed weakness there. Without those spine crawlers, this could be a little bit of a problem here for HayPro to defend this. But with so many infestors available, and look at all, there was a lot of energy there, but they've just chucked out a whole heap of the infested terrans, and I think NalRa is going to bust through some of this. It's going to be really dependent as to whether he can perhaps get rid of those queens, and I think he is going to be able to do it here. There is no way to detect those infestors, unfortunately, but he should be able to get rid of most of this. The Lings now coming out to try and counter that. The drones coming out to the party as well, and that's when you know you're in a good spot. And a G from HayPro, as he has had to succumb to that pressure from NalRa after doing a really good job of coming up to counterattack the 3rd base with those infested terrans. Given that there was no detection, HayPro unfortunately falling to the counterattack of the Roach Hydra combination. So great game there from both players, of course. As I said, a little bit of a learning experience for me, and I hope it was for some of you as well. Always the aim is to learn something when you're watching a StarCraft 2 cast, but either way, hope you all enjoyed that one, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheers.